Today on Hey, We're Talking.
Bob feels the burn.
We're like totally gonna tell you things about us you don't know.
Welcome to another spicy hot edition of Hey, We're Talking.
I never know what you're gonna do.
I think that would have been a better introduction for Winging It Wednesday.
Yeah, wings.
Spicy hot
spicy wings.
Wednesday.
Yeah. Who are you guys again?
That is Bob Peel, the
Right
guy
here?
that.
Yep.
Yeah, right there.
And that's
I'm.
Derek Tant.
Yeah.
He almost said his own name.
I know.
Oh,
He wasn't even
you
given
don't
me the
have to,
opportunity to introduce him after he introduced you.
I know. I don't think he wanted me to introduce him.
That's
part of the pre-show argument him and I had.
What?
So,
you guys had a
yeah.
pre-show argument?
Yeah, you don't even want to know.
I was here.
stupid.
How did I miss this pre-show argument?
Obviously, you're not paying attention.
What are you talking about?
Yep.
You're making up a fallacy right now.
Maybe. Or maybe not.
I felt like as soon as I started to say fallacy, people were going to think I was going to say phallic symbol.
I thought you were going to say flaccid.
A phallic symbol that's flaccid?
I'm like, what does that have to do
How
with
did this
anything,
get
dude?
dirty so quick? That is one of
I
the
don't know.
craziest. I should save that as one of my top 5 things people don't know about me. I'm going to save that too. That's good. This is funny because I don't really have things that people don't know about me. I'm pretty open with who I am. So this is going to be interesting. Do you guys have a lot of like things that you hide from people?
Well, not necessarily hide, but there's just different things that have happened through my life that most people don't know about. That I haven't. I mean, I haven't shared every single thing of my life with people, but
I get that. I thought they would be like interesting facts, though.
Yeah, it's interesting facts, but it's hard to work a lot of this stuff into conversation. It really has to. It very rarely does the conversation go to these places where like, well, by the way, did you know that blankety blank? So I guess this show is going to be our opportunity to share the weird stuff.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I don't know if it's top 5. I'm probably not going to get to it. It's just going to be stories about us, I'm sure.
So before we get into that topic, let me interrupt this real quick. I've been watching. So we do this every once in a while, and I just don't know if I always tell you guys, but I've been watching that 70s show like crazy. Have I mentioned that to you guys?
No, but I did it last year. I watched the whole entire thing because I never watched it when it was out.
Dude, that show is hilarious. Like that's a really, really good show. And I didn't expect it to be.
Cheryl hated
Why?
it. She would get really upset when I was watching it because it's like, it's not like thought-provoking comedy. It's not like cerebral. It's just full-on, like the dad calling him dumbass and stuff like that, which is fun. It's hilarious when he does it. But if you told somebody, it's this guy, he calls the kids dumbasses all the time.
Yeah, every time I hear that, and instead of dumbass, I just hear idiot.
Exactly. That's part of the thing that made me laugh is I told my dad, I was like, when I was watching it, I kept saying to him, I'm like, you would never watch this show, Dad, but there's a guy on there who reminds me of you in certain ways because he just does not pull any punches with what he thinks of how stupid his son and his friends are.
Right. No, I think it's a hilarious show. And like I said, I've been kind of watching it whenever I get time to.
Is it the first time you watched it or did you watch it when it was out?
First time. I'm on like season 3.
There's a point where you just go, okay, I don't remember which season it is, but you just go, really? Because some of the characters start to kind of like not be on the show anymore.
Yeah.
I almost knocked my lamp over. I stuck my hand out and the whole thing just like, Anyway.
Well, it's crazy to look, like if you look up the characters now, what they actually look like today, it's way, way different. Obviously, they were teenagers at the time and now they're adults. And
right.
I mean, a lot of them don't look anywhere near the same. So it's just weird to see that.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Derek?
I didn't watch it. I didn't watch that show when it was out. It was a time in my life. I was busy or something, I would see occasional clips and snippets, maybe even watch the occasional episode, and it was funny. I enjoyed
Yeah.
it, but it felt like it just kind of had to be. You had to kind of be into it to kind of know what was going on. I don't know.
Because
a little bit. Because there's
little bit,
dynamics between everybody. Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah, and the cool thing is the storylines do kind of carry over, So there's some shows where it's just like, this is what happened in this episode, and they'll never mention anything from that episode ever again. And then there's some where they just continue to build and feed. Literally like start the next day with everything going on. So it's kind of neat to be able
Who's your
to
favorite
see that.
character on the show, Bob?
I like Fez.
Do you really?
Yeah,
That's
I think
part of
he's
the reason
hilarious.
Cheryl can't take it. She hates his character.
I think his character is absolutely hilarious.
He has like a lisp and stuff. You don't really know where he's from. It's bizarre.
and the dad Red Foreman's pretty awesome too, though, just because I kind of see some of myself in him.
No way, really?
Totally, yeah. So
you don't
some
get
of
like that, do you?
No, I don't swear at my kids or anything, but
No.
just some of the stuff that he says and dealing with his neighbors and this and that. Some of it I just laugh. I'm just like,
Red Foreman is just like your full on dude. Like he's a dude and he does not pull any punches. He's
what you would call a manly man,
Yes.
not a modern man.
Yes.
As referring back to one of our shows.
yes.
A codger.
He's definitely he just doesn't he doesn't tap into his emotions and all that kind of stuff. Not that it's bad to do that, but especially back then, all these kids smoking weed and all this kind of stuff. He was the guy that was just like, you guys are all a bunch of idiots.
If you're interested in those actors, they have made frequent appearances on a show on Netflix called The Ranch.
Correct, but Danny Masterson is going to be done after this. Isn't that sad?
Yeah, but I hear he was a little handsy, a little grabby,
apparently
a little rapey.
He's been accused of raping multiple women. He's in the Church of Scientology too, so everybody's saying that the Church of Scientology covered it up. But I mean, nowadays all you have to do is just say Danny Masterson raped me, and nobody cares if you actually got raped by him or not. I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm just saying right now it seems like you just say it and.
Yeah, I just saw that like Ryan Seacrest had somebody came out and said something about him, and
which is bizarre because I don't even know. Ryan Seacrest seems asexual to me. Like I literally don't know what he likes. He just seems like a non-sexual being. So
I saw that today, and I'm like, that's weird. And then I keep scrolling through the little feed I was reading, and then more comes about Bill Cosby, going back to court and everything. I'm just like,
dude.
Oh my gosh, what a mess. Hollywood just.
It is such a joke, dude. It's so weird.
Bill Cosby returned to the stage a few weeks ago.
What? Are you serious?
He did.
Wow. Did people show up?
People did.
Listen, I'm not going to lie. Even knowing everything I know, it used to be on my bucket list of things I wanted to do was see Bill Cosby do stand-up. If somebody came up to me and was like, hey, I got some tickets to Bill Cosby and I ain't going, there would be a part of me that would think about going.
You just got to wear a hat.
I know I'd have to go in disguise. I wouldn't stick out or anything like that since I'm a giant mountain of a man. No one would know it was me. Who's that very large man? Oh, I don't know. I've never seen him before.
Just get a new shirt and some sunglasses. No one
I was going to say, I only have like 5 or 6 T-shirts that I regularly wear. I'd have to find a new one. But anyway, yeah, so Danny Masterson, his character on that 70s show was one of my favorites, and it's the same in The Ranch. He's kind of the guy, Rooster, on The Ranch is like the one that I like the most. He makes me laugh. So now he's going to be gone from that, too, and I'm just kind of like, dang it, Danny. Why'd you gotta rape people?
I'm going to have to watch this ranch thing.
It's very similar to that 70s show kind of humor.
Cheap laughs.
It is, but it's still, you find yourself laughing at stuff that you're like, why am I even laughing? But because it's simple. It's not difficult to figure out what the joke is. The joke just happens. Like their dad is definitely a Red Foreman type character.
Yeah, Sam Elliott.
Yeah,
he's and the guy that plays Red Foreman, he's in the show.
Yes, he is. He does.
He has a guest spot. So, and you get a lot of those people. The guy that plays Fez, he's in the show.
Yep, for a little bit. Yep.
Yeah, I saw that. Or
It's
heard that.
it's
Said that the
definitely
other day.
it's definitely one of those again where it's just like I went into it when it first came on Netflix going, this is going to be the most stupid thing ever, and then I found myself a couple hours later having watched the entire season.
Yeah, it's endearing. You're like, this is so dumb. I mean, it's predictable. The laughs are cheap.
Yeah.
It's just
But
you're just
it's like it's exactly what you need sometimes because again, it's like we especially in the society that we live in today, like everything is so divisive and there's so many things that you have to like people want to know what your stance is on this or that, and then once in a while there'll just be something that you can do that your mind doesn't even have to like interact with it really. You can just sit there and go and you don't have to think about it. That's basically what the ranch is.
Yeah. And to counter that, I know you're talking about shows we're watching. Props to you, Scott. I've been watching Arrested Development.
Now that one you have to think about a little bit.
And I love that show.
It's so
that
good,
is
man.
So funny.
It was so far ahead of its time too. It's just like people back then when it came out, they were like, "What is this?" They couldn't understand if you didn't get the comedy, it was so lost on you. But now all these years later, there's so many shows that are similar or, you know, like I think about like Always Sunny in Philadelphia and some of these shows that took the characters to this place where it's just like nobody's like this. I mean, that's kind of what Arrested Development did way back. It's like this family and you just go, there is no way there are people like this in the real world, and that's what's so funny about it. But yeah, anyway, Bob still has not watched Arrested Development, probably.
No, I've got limited time to watch stuff, so one of these days we'll see it. Maybe I'll get to it.
Once you're done with the award-winning 70s show,
Didn't Arrested Development start like on a boat, like the very first episode?
Yes, it does start.
Okay, so I've watched like the first 2 episodes, and that was it. So I just haven't got back to it.
There's always money in the banana stand, just so you know.
Yeah, I watched. It was several months ago. I watched the first 2 episodes, and I was like, it's all right. And then I decided to go back and just restart it, and I don't know, just something about it when I restarted it from the very first episode, the way Ron Howard narrates the series. Yes. He's like this omniscient narrator, and just
it's so
somebody in the show, one episode, somebody insulted somebody and called him Opie. He's like, you better watch you better, I don't think so, Opie.
Yes.
And Ron Howard, the narrator, said, and Jennifer better watch herself or something.
Yes.
Like that.
It's very good.
She basically, as the narrator, told her to shut up or something like that because she used Opie as an insult.
Hey, this is something that people didn't know about us, is that we watch Arrested Development. No, I'm kidding. They knew now. But we have to get into that. Like we're almost
after the break.
Do you want to do that? Yeah, let's take a quick break.
Yeah, it's a break time.
After the break.
It's pretty close. It's close. So let's just do it and then we'll come back and have something ready. You got to have your best. You got to present your best options cuz we're running low here.
Hey, that's all we do is we bring it to the table, man.
We do.
Just because you're not prepared, Scott, doesn't mean Derek and I are not.
Okay, they bring the heat. Next. Today's show is sponsored by Gamefly.com. 30-day free trial. Go to Gameflyoffer.com/HWT. 5 things that you don't know about Derek, Bob, or Scott coming up right now on Hey, We're Talking.
Do we have to do 5?
We're never going to get to 5, but unless you list them like rapid pace, I'm assuming all these things are going to have some story attached to them. Don't you think?
Could be.
Might. Yeah, maybe.
Who wants to go first then? Who wants to lead the charge? I have one. Rick, I have it cocked and loaded, ready to go.
Just do it then. Throw it out there.
Because we were talking on the previous episode about being hit in the head with stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you talked about smacking your brother with a Louisville Slugger, Bob.
Yeah.
I actually, the way that I met my wife in high school, not really, but this is the story we use. In gym class, we were learning golf for some stupid reason, and it was like co-ed. And this was in 10th grade. She walked behind me in my backswing, and I cracked her right across the top of the head with a 9-iron. She dropped
and somehow
down.
she wound up dating you.
Yes, she dropped down to one knee and was holding her head, and I thought I hit the brick wall behind me, but it was her head. And I was like, "Are you okay?" And then I just saw the blood. So she had to get stitches. So I had my mom take me up to the local Hallmark store because I felt so bad. And I bought her a little stuffed animal kitty inside of a basket, and I put a little card in it that said I was sorry. And my mom drove me over to her house, and I delivered it to her, and I said, "I'm really sorry." And that was it. Now, we didn't start dating right away. It took a while.
Yeah, for the trauma to go away.
So I
for
like
the migraines to go away.
I like to think of it as like back in the day, there used to be this kind of like joke in cartoons and stuff. Like cavemen used to just club the women over the head and drag them away, and that's how they got them. So that's basically what I did.
So when you
did that.
So when you said you hit on her, I mean,
I literally
meant,
hit on her. But it was
you
her
must have
fault.
knocked-
She walked behind me. It's not like I walked up to her and clubbed her over the head with a 9-iron. She walked behind me.
Well, you must have knocked some sense out of her because she wanted.
I know somehow she stayed with me all this time.
I don't.
Which is just
I
crazy.
don't know that.
Just think about that. You guys know how old I am.
56.
So we were in 10th grade when we started having eyes for each other. It didn't happen until 11th grade though.
Wow.
Having eyes for each other.
That's an old.
1988 was the year that I started dating my wife.
Nice.
Wow. Look at your faces.
I was 9 years
You're
old.
flabbergasted.
Yeah, I was 9 years old.
You're just like, what?
That year.
I was 16. So there you go.
In 2002, I was in one of the most powerful earthquakes in the United States history.
In Alaska.
In Alaska.
Wow.
I told this story before.
No, but that's a great.
I don't think so.
That's a great thing I didn't know about you. I like it.
Okay, so this is the post 9/11 world. I was stationed in Montana, and after 9/11, I got orders to go to Clear Air Station in Alaska. It is a radar, a big 10-foot store. It's a 10-story tall radar shaped like a Bose speaker that was pointed to the west. I don't know.
I like how he's
west.
trying to figure out which way it is.
Yeah, it's important. It pointed west in order to spot, to detect missile launches from Russia or China, but it also tracked satellites in the sky. Now that resource at that station, that radar is a priority 1 or a level 1 resource, basically on the same level as a nuke. And so after 9/11, they needed more people to guard those. So I got sent out there. And I remember one night I'm in the radar, like I'm in the building, and we had like it started to it was tremors, had a little earthquake. That was the precursor. That was like the little.
It was the shake you to say, "Hey, something big's coming your way."
Warning.
So all the alarms got set off, because of the earthquake, and we were warned. They're like, this could have been like a pre-tremor. There could be a bigger one coming. So, like a couple days later, I was on the night shift. It was like 2 p.m. I was asleep, and suddenly, and on the second floor of the dorms, and suddenly it's just shaking violently, knocks me out of my bed. It's pretty wild, and it lasted a good like 20-30 seconds, maybe even longer. It was pretty wild, and they came back later and said it was a 7.9 on the Richter scale with an epicenter.
Pretty intense, dude.
Yeah, like not too far away from where we were. It was still like if it would have been in any major city, would have leveled the city.
I believe it.
Everything.
Do you guys think we're ready for another earthquake? There hasn't been a massive earthquake in a little while.
Well, thanks for bringing it up.
I'm just saying.
Stop.
Haven't been having them like in the oceans, and that's what's causing the tsunamis.
I don't know.
Yeah, there's a whole theory.
Entire different topic.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that down on our topic list.
Yeah,
Earthquakes,
like
hurricanes, weather, why it's happening. Yeah.
What?
All right.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Oh, geez. Don't even go down this path. Tell us your story before. Don't get political.
What's your next fact?
I like how I said that just to make Bob go, what?
No,
Go ahead.
Bob's
What's your
not going to
story?
get political.
What's your story?
Okay, so one day back in sometime in the 90s, I went to a camp for a week, and between me and basically everyone in my cabin, so less than 10 people or whatever, we drank 26 gallons of milk in a week
What?
in 5 days.
How many
Wow.
people were in the cabin?
There was like 8 people.
26 gallons between 8 people.
Yep.
Gross.
See, it's just one of those odd random.
Is that when you
things.
started having your problems with
Yes.
dairy?
After that, I started having problems with dairy.
I wonder why.
I overdosed on lactose or something, and ever since then, dairy and I have never gotten along.
Because if you do the math, that means each person had over 3 gallons of milk in a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Too much.
It's too
Too
much.
much.
It's a lot
Well,
of
Derek
milk.
would know because he's tried to drink an entire gallon of milk in one
Yeah.
sitting.
It was chocolate milk.
Save
Chocolate
that, though.
milk.
We're that's coming up on a future episode. So we have
I'm
to
not
save
doing that
little-
crap. I'm not doing that.
No. We're not drinking it. We're going to talk about it.
Ugh.
So we got to save that.
Okay.
That's
Put
that's
that
something.
in the back of your mind. Ugh.
Yeah. No, that's coming up pretty quick here. Looking at my list. Oh, that's coming up. Yeah, another week or so.
Oh
so,
my gosh. Anyway.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Okay.
Great
What's
story.
another one for me? This is, I think a lot of people know this, but maybe a lot of people don't. I have no idea. I'm actually named after my father, but I'm not a junior. So a lot of people are always like, oh, you're named after your dad. Yeah, I am. My first name is the same as my dad's. But since my dad is from Scotland, my mom didn't want to say my dad's name and have us both go, yeah. So they named me Scott after Scotland. So I don't have the same middle name as my dad. So I'm not a junior. There you go. That was a quick one.
That's pretty interesting.
I got one. Davy Crockett is my great uncle.
Get out of here.
And you know an astronaut. Come on, Derek.
It's on the Ancestry.com.
Oh,
I
okay.
looked it up. It's my great 7 greats grandmother is Davy Crockett's oldest sister, Rebecca Crockett.
Rebecca Crockett. There you go. Okay.
So here, because of that, I seriously just thought of something. It just popped into my head. I don't know how many greats it would have been, but an aunt who was on the Titanic when it sank.
So she's not. She got drowned.
Nope, she was on one of the rescue boats.
Drowned is
Yep.
not a word, by the way.
No,
just
it's
drowned.
not. But so it was like my great aunt
Yeah.
was on the Titanic, but she was, as it was crashing, and she was able to get onto a rescue boat and be safe.
Did she leave any? Did she take the necklace with her?
Did she toss it over the edge?
Insert stupid Titanic movie joke here.
I wish she would have done something like that. Maybe family'd be rich.
By the way, Danny Black did a video today. It came out, which will be probably like a week from when you hear this or more. But he put out a video today of he was on the cruise ship, and one of the things you can do on the cruise ship, he was doing things that you could do because somebody asked, what do you guys do for fun on the cruise ship? And there's actually a thing that they do where they put you on a harness and you're allowed to lean out over the front of the boat and do the King of the World thing like on Titanic.
That's interesting.
But I think it's funny that they harness you in. There's
Right.
there's a guy, he does it with like the assistant cruise ship director or something like that. And they actually have you can walk the plank. Of course, they hook you in.
Right.
And dude, these cruise ships are probably like 6 stories or more
Oh
tall.
yeah, they're huge.
So when you walk out on this thing, he shows down from the camera, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh!" It would freak me out.
That'd be
And the
awesome.
guy
I'll have
was
to see
freaked
that.
out also. He was pretty
Yeah.
freaked out. Anyway, okay, who's got another one?
Well, I was just gonna say, Danny Black. He puts out a lot of videos. Like I've been saving them up. I want to watch them. Like I like to watch his kind of.
Yeah,
all
they're not super
together.
long, so usually
I like to
they're
watch
like
it.
less than 5 minutes.
Yeah, I like to wait for there's like 5 or 6 that I
Yep,
can
same
watch
here.
them all, like a little mini show.
I do that with a lot of the stuff I watch on YouTube, just to, binge watch it for a little while, and okay, I'm all caught up again.
All right, let's talk about the guys that I had killed.
What?
Okay. This is going to get, I don't know, it's going to get a little dark.
Great.
This might be. I don't know. I never thought about this until later. All right. 2004, early 2004. I'm in the Air Force. I'm in Kirkuk, Iraq, security forces. I'm in a tower guarding this base. It's supposed to be.
Are you going to get put in jail for telling this story?
No. Okay. No, nobody knows. Nobody, I was put in, I was guarding, I was in a tower. This is supposedly friendly territory, northern Iraq, home of the Kurds. They hated Saddam. But there was there's still troublemakers around. And when I was there, we would occasionally get shots fired in the area and rockets would get launched at us. So one night I'm in a tower. It's like 10 o'clock at night, trying to relax, trying to just stay alert and watch. And then a rocket gets launched at us, flies right by my tower, bang, right behind us, So we call it in. We say, there was a rocket fired at us. And so they dispatch the army, like people, soldiers from the army, they get in their Humvees and go out. Like, I'm in the Air Force. We're just guarding. We're just perimeter security. And so outside my post to the left, about 100, 200 yards away, there's this plant, like a gas station plant, like a propane factory or something like that. And I can see through my night vision that there's some dudes smoking. They're just standing outside smoking. And I call it in. I was like, hey, there's 3 or 4 guys. I can see that they're smoking. They're just standing around. And my flight leader goes, yeah, those are just the security guards for that facility. They're actually like Iraqi police. It's like an extra job. He goes, they're the good guys, but just keep an eye on them. And I was like, okay. And so 5 or 10 minutes later, I see from my right 3 Humvees just racing across the field, heading to this little guard shack where these 3 or 4 dudes are standing smoking. And they get about 200, 300 yards away. The Humvee stop, and then all these soldiers pile out of they get out of the Humvees, and they start running, and they're yelling, and they're screaming, and they're running at these dudes. Uh-oh. And I'm watching this through night vision, and then I can see through the night vision the laser pointers on the rifles start to light up, and they open fire on the Iraqi guy, on the Iraqi police.
And they were good guys.
They were good guys.
They didn't fire at you.
They didn't fire at us, but I thought about it many years later. I was like, I was the one that came on the radio and said that there were people out there.
Way to go, Derek.
Now later, the next day, our flight leader was like, there were some people that were shot at, because after the guys got shot, they brought ambulances and took them in.
Oh,
they're like, there were some fellas that were Iraqi police. They were shot. Some of them got hit in the leg. They're all fine.
Oh, well, that's good. I thought you were going to say you had them killed.
Well,
that's what your original story was.
Well, a guy later that said he was working in medical, he was like, yeah, they brought in some dudes last night, and one of them's dead, or a couple of them died.
Wow.
Gosh.
So I'm like, oh my goodness.
Bob, do you have one to kind of help us not be so sad at the end here?
Or as hell.
No, right? I'm just going to carry on with the I'm just going to carry on with the sad one real quick.
This is it.
Because that's what I have. That's what I got.
Okay, do it. This is it.
So June 6, 1991, I was burned, third-degree burns at an explosion at my house. That was basically like a farm at that time. So, yeah, my hand got all burned and third-degree burns. They had to take skin off of my leg and put it in my hand. I was 2 weeks in the burn unit, Loyola University, which is well-known for their burn unit. And, it was a pretty crazy. So my right hand looks a lot different than everybody else's after 20 some odd years, just because I was burned. So yeah, that's one.
Ooh. Burn.
If that was too quick, I can mention the fact that, I mean, you guys kind of know this, but I'm an introvert as well, which people don't think I am because of this show.
No.
But I'm like a super shy person. I keep quiet. I stick to myself. So if you ever meet me in person, like come approach me and say something, because I'm probably not going to approach you just because that's not how I am. I'm a shy person.
Yeah, I'm an introvert too.
Not me.
I'm not either.
No.
Scott,
No.
take us home.
Okay. Take me home,
Where do you want
country
me?
road, to the place I belong.
No,
West
I'm the
Virginia.
singer. Says
I know.
Haley says I'm the
Kaylee,
singer.
you're-
You're the funny guy, according to my son.
You're funny.
Yeah,
too. You're funny.
You're the
too.
No.
funny
We're all
guy.
funny.
You're the singer, and I'm just that guy.
Oh,
I'm like your
jeez.
guys' sidekick.
All right,
Scott's
listen.
the-
It's been a fantastic week. Just so you guys know, I believe that tomorrow is St. Patrick's Day, so be careful out there, kids.
Yeah.
Have a couple of green beers and keep it safe. Don't go
Get an Uber.
overboard.
Get an
Yeah,
Uber.
get an
Don't
Uber.
drink and drive. Don't. An Uber, what? It's going to cost you at the most $50 or something.
Or just
Get an
stay,
Uber.
just stay at your house with some green dye. Those are good.
Yeah. A green guy.
Green dye to put in your beer.
Shrek? You're inviting Shrek
Oh
over?
my gosh. Okay. Any which way, thanks for listening to the program. Enjoy your weekend. Well, you might not be listening to this on the weekend. We don't care. We say
The next weekend you have, enjoy it.
enjoy that one. Thanks for listening. Share it with your friends. Give us a like. Subscribe. Blah, 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 blah. Hey, we're talking. It's where the cool kids go for humor.